Alright, it's time to do some replay reviews. Precursor says, I am the JP player. I think I have some good neutral, but often feel I get smoked and don't know where the best returns are. Let's have a look. You're slightly over 1500 MR. I remember this match being very annoying when I was playing JP, because DJ's EX Fireball was very obnoxious in this matchup, like that, for example. Okay. Let's just look at it like this. Nice. No punish. Okay, dropped combo. Okay, you're getting a few openings, but you're not really converting any of them. It feels like you don't have faith in your own, like, you know, your own hits. Like, you don't believe you're gonna actually open your opponent up, is kind of the vibe that I get. Again. Yeah, you won, but you had so many drops in such a short period of time. So, like, right here, on the whiff, this is a punish. Stand Fierce is quite slow. If you want to go for something slightly safer, you can just do a medium, like... He says, not getting it. There we go. Yeah, but then you... So the first one, the miss on the up kick punish is not a big deal because it's hard to be ready for that. But, like, if you're doing Stand Fierce into heavy swipe, you need to be preparing for the combo afterwards. What did you try and do? Did you try and drive rush? Is that why you got a whiffed parry? Let me see the inputs. Yeah, it looks like you tried to drive rush there and didn't quite get it. So, I would not be inputting drive rush this way for a combo like this. Usually it's easier to just hold the buttons and then mash forward. So right now I'm just holding parry and mashing forward, and you always get like a frame 1 drive rush. Like that. You don't need to do the perfect drive rush input if you're buffering it in a combo. Literally just hold parry and then just tap forward a lot, and you'll always get a frame 1 drive rush. For this extension specifically, I think you actually probably want to dash first. So if you do a forward dash here like that, it makes it much easier to pick up the juggle, because otherwise it's like really weird manual timing. So like, I would recommend doing dash, and then during the dash, buffer the drive rush. So forward dash, hold parry, and then tap forward, like that. Okay. Yeah, so again, it's like... It's almost like you're surprised that you're getting hits. So you get a nice opening here again, right after the drop. You put up the portal, you snap it, and then you drive rush in. And it's like you're not prepared for the combo, even though you're doing the combo. I feel like you need a bit more confidence in your own gameplay, because the jab here felt like a panic. What was the actual best thing in this situation? Forward heavy kick. You can get a fat combo here. You can do that. Forward heavy kick into heavy spin works here. And then start your zoning game. I nearly did it again. But I've got to... Every single, like, neuron in my brain has to focus to not accidentally hit end replay. Why did they put these two buttons next to each other? The amount of times that I've nearly quit the replay by accident. Yeah, so it's like, again, you're doing the right things. I think it's important to stress that you are making some good openings in neutral, but it's like you're not ready for the hit that you're fishing for. You do drive rush crouch medium kick, which is plus on block. So in theory, this is a setup for a frame trap, right? You're doing a plus on block drive rush crouch medium kick, and you're assuming your opponent is going to mash buttons afterwards. So you correctly do the counter hit crouch jab, and then you do stand fierce afterwards. Like, you did the frame trap, and then you didn't follow through on it. You know? Have faith in your reads. You were right to think this guy was going to mash here, but you didn't prepare for the possibility of it actually happening. Something like that. Yeah, and again, just one last time. So I think this is like the 4th or 5th time in the round, but again, you do stand fierce EX Fireball here, and it hits him mashing because this guy's not really blocking. And again, you just aren't like prepared for the possibility of it actually hitting. Like, it doesn't strike me like you believe any of the things you're doing are actually going to work, because you just instantly win the round there if you just do spike. So yeah, when you're doing these things, You're getting the openings, but it's like I said, you don't seem to believe that they're actually going to work. Still, won the round at least. I'd also say this guy's been jumping a lot. I would maybe take more of a wait-and-see approach. That was a nice air throw. Very nice air throw. DJ jump medium kick is kind of cheap. Yeah, anti-air is an issue. Haven't really seen you anti-air much. Same thing again. Exactly the same interaction as last time. Literally the exact same thing, right down to the same buttons. So once again, you do drive rush, crouch, medium kick, which is plus. You press the jab, which is a frame trap. You get your counter hit, and then you press down fierce again afterwards. Like, you need to... I think maybe you're autopiloting your strings a little bit. You've got to kind of unlearn your muscle memory to just press these buttons in this order. I would recommend maybe jumping into training mode and doing some counter hit confirming drills. That was unlucky. I feel bad for you right there. That sucks. you kind of got screwed over in this interaction right here. You correctly read that he's going to throw a fireball at you with the portal above him. You come out of it with the teleport and you get clipped from behind. Okay, that was just unlucky. I feel bad for you on that one. Justice for RD10, honestly. Nice back medium punch. Nice parry. Okay, punish counter back throw. Okay, what's the mix? Slightly out of range. Yeah, you gotta be a little bit careful on level 2 because crouch jab here is not actually guaranteed. I think maybe unless you're in the corner. But yeah, crouch jab can whiff here, so you've got to... I think probably crouch medium kick is the better lockdown option in this situation. They've changed this a little bit since I last played JP. I think there might be a gap if you press crouch medium kick, but I think you kind of have to in this situation. Okay, so your opponent is in burnout. So are you. Kind of an awkward situation, yeah. I think the moment that you made a decision that I'm not sure about is when you did EX spike here. It put you in a very dangerous drive threshold. Like, you were in a very good spot to just like whittle him down in burnout from full screen, but you made life very difficult for yourself by doing EX spike here. Because if you think about the possible outcomes of this EX spike, it's like, if it gets blocked like this, you are now on the verge of burnout and you can't block any of DJ's incoming fireballs or you will just burn out. And even if this thing hits, it's not going to kill your opponent, even if you get another spike afterwards. So like, I think if you wanted to spend EX here, the much better play is the EX Fireball, because EX Fireball would obliterate all this incoming nonsense, and you could use the downtime to set up a portal. So like, probably shouldn't be spending EX at all here in this spot, but if you are going to spend it, it should be EX Fireball, not EX Spike, I think. Yeah. Yeah, lots of jumping at the end, but this is just to avoid the chip out. Keep in mind that you can neutral jump. Like, it looks like you're trying to navigate the... It looks like you're trying to navigate the fireballs a lot only with forward and back jump, but like, keep in mind neutral jump is very good here to not risk getting anti-aired. Okay, final round. Nice intercept. Yeah, this is the same thing again. This crouch jab to stand fierce string is losing you so much damage potential. So yeah, definitely want to drill these counter hit confirms, because you're getting so many counter hit crouch jabs and not converting them. Do you see? Have you noticed? Here's a question, genuinely. Did you know that you had this habit? Because like this drive rush crouch medium kick into crouch jab stand fierce. I'm curious to know, were you aware that you had this habit, or is this just something that you haven't really been thinking about much? No, I did not. Okay, so that's good. It's good to know. Because like I don't want to come across like I'm being too critical, but a lot of players it's very difficult to evaluate your own habits, and you don't realize that you're falling into like the same cycle a lot of the time, until someone else points it out for you. So hopefully that's useful. Yeah, getting a little bit scrambly right now. Not a terrible position. You have got level 2 still. Like, this is probably still in JP's favor from this spot. I like your patience. I like that you're not going in. Like, to your credit, a lot of players at like the 1500 MR level are not comfortable just holding down back. Like, one of the biggest critiques I've had of previous replay reviews is that people constantly feel like they need to be doing something. And I actually kind of like that you're just kind of waiting to see what happens here. The anti-air is a little bit lacking, but I like that you're not just like, you know, going in super hard when you don't have to. Okay, and then a little bit scrambly at the end. Yeah, I think, like, main things to work on, I think, anti-airs are a bit lacking. You gotta, like, work on those autopilot strings you're doing, because you're getting a lot of openings and then not converting them. And just in general, like, you should be of the mindset that when you go for, like, a read, you need to assume that it's gonna work. If you make all of your decisions on the assumption that this isn't gonna work, when you finally get an opening, it's not gonna lead to anything. So, yeah. I think it's good to have more confidence in your game plan, but you're on the right track. You're not doing anything, like, obviously insane, I think. Okay, should we do another one? I think I'm really good on offense, but neutral and defense need work. That's normal. Offense usually comes more natural than defense. I rely on neutral skips too much, but don't know how else to do it, really. Just to the topic of neutral skips, I've talked about this before, but a lot of the things people describe as neutral skips are just neutral. And people try and shame you for just playing the game as it is. Like, how dare you use a random drive rush? It's on them to check it. So if your neutral skips are working, what's the problem, you know? It's only if you're trying to skip neutral and getting intercepted that it becomes an issue. I assume you're the Aki? Yeah, you're the Aki, okay. 1816 MR Aki player.
Time to erase you.
First of all, what is your opponent's dojo name? That's my first critique here. Okay, cool idea. Little bit risky, I will say. Like, JP EX Fireball has pretty low recovery in situations like this. You kind of got away with it because they didn't check it, but you've actually got to unlearn this impulse. Because it's actually worse for you to DI here than it is to let yourself get hit by the EX Fireball. This is a weird thing that you have to learn if you play a Fireball Drive Rush character. But letting yourself get hit by the EX Fireball here, you'll take, like, I don't know, 2,000 damage and get knocked down. But that's definitely preferable to trying to DI through it and your opponent counter DIing and you lose, like, another 1.5 bars of drive plus 4,000 damage. So it feels like in the heat of the moment that you should try and DI through it. You actually have to resist that temptation sometimes. You can also cancel into, like, slide. If you're early enough, you can cancel into, like, light or EX slide. Yeah, try and unlearn that impulse to DI there. That was a nice dive. It feels like it was kind of a guess. I don't think you did this on reaction, but sometimes you just got to send it against JP to make them scared, so that's fine. Okay. Tried to steal some frames after the target combo. Again. You've got away with it again. Clearly this JP player is at least 30 years old. But both of these DIs could have got you killed. You're very lucky they went through. It's the same thing again. I actually think, strangely, in this matchup, it's actually preferable to just raw drive rush rather than fireball drive rush. Like, if you think about this situation right, like, here, after the first fireball, if you had just done a raw drive rush after this spike went away, you had a good chance of getting in. But because you're trying to do fireball drive rush like it's any other matchup, your opponent can just react, respond with their EX fireball like this, super late, and now you're kind of fucked. So you're lucky it worked out, but I would not be doing that in general. Unlucky on the anti-air. Throw and looping. Throw and looping. Okay. Okay. You're panicking a little bit on defense there at the end. Like, you mentioned that your defense is probably one of your weaker parts. Like, try and think about, like, what you're trying to target, because I'm not sure why you're getting hit there. It feels like you're just letting go of blocks sometimes. Is this an Aki round? Okay. Nice pressure. A little bit too far for the command grab, but you just about got away with it. Okay. That was a little bit scrambly, but sometimes Aki gaming be like that, so can't criticize it. Nice punish. And a nice pickup as well. Nice, okay. You've identified that he's a serial delay techer on defense. I'm not sure about this setup you're doing. You've done this a couple of times. You're doing... Normally, I would just put the puddle straight down here. I'm not sure what the whiff stand medium punch is doing for you. I mean, the thing is, you can do it in either order. Like, you can do medium punch puddle or puddle and medium punch. The advantage of doing medium punch first is that the puddle, like, stays out for longer. But the reason that I would not advise it is because it leaves you too far away. Like, if you do the puddle second, you're, like, not really that close. And you then have to walk up to threaten a throw. So, it's not a criticism. Like, if this is what if you're more comfortable doing the walk there, then sure. But it's not a setup that I would usually go for. I guess that's just player preference, that one. I don't really think you're going to make anyone delay tech there because you're so far away. Okay, level 3, but it's not gonna kill. I think you've got a pixel. Okay. You were actually... Oh, you had it! You had it! What, you might still have it. Oh, this is scrambly. Oh, unfortunate. You actually kind of had it here. You kind of threw at the end. Okay, so, like, let's break down this last little sequence here, because, like, even though your health was extremely low here, this EX portal from your opponent was actually pretty damn dangerous. Like, by doing EX portals here with you in the corner, he's put himself at a very dangerous drive threshold, like very close to burnout. You kind of can just wait here for them to pop and then parry them or punish the anti-air. Like, EX slide here into throw tech was pretty lucky that worked out. And then you burn yourself out here, and then you get the stand heavy kick. And you do dive. So, as I'm sure you know, you probably just autopiloted that, but I'm sure you know you could have just killed here if you hit confirm it. So one thing you can take advantage of is that if you don't know, this game actually has a weird thing that you can do off punish counters that have like a big hit effect, and you can actually change your mind. I don't know if you guys know about this, but once you've committed to one option, during the hit stop, you can actually change your mind and switch to a different one. So for example, like, I'm going to try and demonstrate this, but it might be hard to do. So even if you've already started inputting the cower crouch like this, so I'm pressing cower crouch right now, but if I press coward crouch and then realize during the big slowdown of the stand heavy kick that I actually don't want to go into coward crouch, you can actually overwrite it with another input if you do it fast enough. Like that. So if you look at my inputs on the right hand side there, can you see that I pressed down in 3 punches? And then I did heavy flip. As long as you haven't started the startup of the next special move, you can actually change your mind and overwrite the previous input with a newer one. It's very hard to do in the heat of the moment, but it is worth knowing because situations like this, you can kind of option select like your punish. It's not Aki privilege, like every character in the game can do this if you have like a punish countering heavy with a big like hit effect. Any character with like a sort of crush counter-ish heavy can do this. But yeah, if you've already autopiloted the cower crouch, you do have the option to change your input, as long as you're quick. So, it's worth knowing. Could have saved you there.